All right. We're back. Is it working? Yeah. Is anyone there? Hello? Hello, YouTube land. I'll just wait for the chat. See what people are saying out there. Hello, Trixie narrator, Riff Trick. Riff Chick. Sorry, I got confused with the trick and the chick. Samir Sela, hello again. Hello. Doing another Modelland. Surprise Modelland. I said it. I posted about it last night. It was a little late. Sorry, guys. It's been a while since we did one of these. Hopefully the audio still sounds okay. Video looks okay. Seems like it changes every time. I don't like my video this high. I'm gonna fix it. There we go. Yes. Smizing is very important when you're wearing your masks. What up? It's been a while since we've done one of these. First of all, I just wanted to say the stream's dedicated to my busybody neighbors who got in trouble for being loud and decided to stalk my social media for weeks so they can tell me how unimportant I am. This one's for you guys. All right. So it's been a while since we've done one of these. I usually do a recap. I really don't remember what the last thing was that happened. Oh, you guys like my top? I got it from, what is the website? I want to make sure I get this right. labelemon.com. The lady's very nice. It's a black-owned Chicago business, and I just loved this top. I'll put the link in the chat if people want to go there. She's got lots of cool stuff. Okay. Does anyone in the chat remember what happened the last time? Let me skim and see. Okay. What was Tukey doing the last time? Man, it's been a while. Oh, okay. So, all right. Oh, I already got a super chat from Dark Echo 1. Finally back from Modelland. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so here's what happened. So, if for people who haven't been listening to the Tyraland Modelland streams, so this is Tyra Banks' Hunger Games, Harry Potter kind of young adult novel set in a dystopian world where everything's based around fashion. And Tukey Delacreme is her self-insert 16-year-old self that she's put in here. She even told us that was the case on Top Model, so we know that to be true. Everything's based around the things that she likes in her life. She's got 2 different colored eyes, and apparently that's considered very ugly in this world. So she has a boy that she really likes, and he drops a button in a hallway in school. Oh, and she's laying on the floor in the hallway forever. And then she chases the button into a garbage can. There's a bitchy girl in school who's secretly poor, and apparently Tukey finds that very funny. And she's got an abusive family who were the Dursleys, basically. And anyway, they all want to get to Modelland. Modelland is the Mount Olympus of this world. They can become one of the 7 sevens models in this world. There's some name I'm forgetting that they're called. Anyway, they're so they all have superpowers, and they do this catwalk thing, and when that went on forever, and there was a wise homeless man named Wingtip that gave her some advice. Anyway, Tukey was chosen despite not having. Well, she found the golden smize, the golden ticket, the Willy Wonka ticket in the sink because it appears in the water. But her sister took it, but they picked her, and then she went to Modelland and met a guy with a hand for a head, and then before they did that, they had to go forever to several several places with stupid names to pick up many stereotypes, and that went on for 10 years. She traveled via SAC. And then they went to Modelland and they learned about the sister academy with the boys called Bestosterone, and that was stupid. And then they went and had a series of tests with the androgynous Miss J type character, and then they were like, oh no, what if I was ugly? And then I think that's the end of that chapter. I'm sure I've missed some stuff. Or her dad lost his eye because he bowed into a sword. It was real dumb. Okay, I think that's where we're at. We got some super chats from Cartoon Kelly. Wow, I made it. Thanks for coming again, Kelly. Katie Henley, you are amazing. Oh, thank you. That's very nice. One from Quinn Zeiker. It looks like a pear emoji with a coffee. Like, yeah. Thanks. Cheers. I have some water here. Cheers. Okay, kindergarten level wordplay, yeah. Okay, we are on chapter 18, La Lumière. Let's see how many of the voices I can remember from this. Tuki's eyes were shut tight. A stiff breeze made her face tingle. It smelled familiar, sort of like tangerines? No. Already? I didn't finish the paragraph. Let me grab my cat. Come here, kitty. What a troublemaker. What a troublemaker. Look at the audience that you're disturbing, interrupting their model land. By the way, Tyra's favorite scent is blood oranges. That's why the entire place smells like blood oranges. Sort of like tangerines. No, blood oranges. Tuki opened her eyes. She was wearing exactly what all the girls in the O Plaza had on, except it was two-tone green. Oh yeah, if you haven't listened to one of these, I don't know why you're jumping in on number 8, but you're going to be hearing a lot of overly descriptions about what people are wearing at the time. Her head felt foggy. I don't remember how I got into these clothes. Where are Piper and Shiraz and Dylan? Am I sleepwalking? Was thigh-high boot camp just a nightmare? Oh, do you mind terribly not biting at my boob? Why? Was thigh-high boot camp just a nightmare? Or, oh no, am I still in boot camp? I got a couple more super chats. Drift 219 jumps through the window. Am I late for the stream? No, you are just in time. I am 2 paragraphs in. Cartoon Kelly, cat break is best break. That's true. Thank you very much, guys. Way off in the distance, the M building stood proud and tall. In front of her was a mishmash of cube-like houses connected by slivers of jade and turquoise opaque stones. Huge faces carved into hedges decorated the grounds. Oh, Mount Hedgemore. Don't chew on my book. Vines and flowers made up the faces, eyes, and hair. One of the flower eyes opened and stared straight at her. Oh. Admiring the D, are you? A voice asked. Oh my god. And she wants the D. Tuki spun around. Zhen scooped her into a huge bear hug. Then, over Zhen's shoulder, Tuki saw Shiraz, Dylan, and Piper walking toward her in slow motion, all wearing the same outfit she was. Oh, this'll be for the trailer for the Modelland movie. Slow-mo. They're walking in slow-mo. It is a dream. Wake up, Tuki. They're in a Baywatch logic in this world. More girls appeared behind them. Kamalani, Desperata, and Chaste in Zarpessa. Yuck. No, it's definitely a nightmare. Another super chat from Drift219. Oh, thank you. It's a big super chat. This is for being the only YouTuber to say my name right. Love you, girl. Keep up the great work. Oh, thank you. That's so nice. You gonna behave yourself? She won't. You made it, girl! Dylan cried, running toward Tukey. Shiraz and Piper barreled toward her too, and the girls crashed together into a sloppy, love-filled reunion hug. Another super chat from Lee David O'Day. You didn't write anything in there, but thank you. If you write whatever you were going to say afterwards, I'll read it. Unless you just wanted to send the money, which is also nice. Okay. Sloppy, love-filled reunion hug. Then Tukey looked at Zhen Zhen. Is thigh-high boot camp really over? Tukey asked. Zhen Zhen nodded. And the girls erupted into hugs and applause.
But there was no fashion show,
Piper stated, interrupting their celebration.
Guru Gennaro stated, rather demonically, that the whole THBC process would culminate in one big fashion extravaganza.
You mean you didn't do the fashion show ending? Zhen Zhen frowned. She looked worried. And the Belladonna is going to be so upset. Gennaro has been excluding the fashion show part of boot camp for the past 2 years. Word is he doesn't want any fashion shows happening before the new Bellas get their walking lessons from him. It's like he wants to take full credit for any walks. She rolled her eyes. I'm really sorry you had to experience such hell without getting a payoff of heaven. But you made it. I hope your time here is worth the agony you just experienced. Oh, it was nothing. My hairdresser's personal trainer's manicurist nephew has a friend who went through it before, so I already knew everything that was going to happen, Zarpessa said smugly. Oh, Lee David O'Day. Sorry I don't know how to do it. LOL, thanks for getting my name right. Okay, well, you're welcome. No problem. Just wanted to make sure that if you had a message, you got your money's worth. Thank you. Dylan rolled her eyes. I don't even remember what voice I did for this.
So how many made it?
Kamalani asked. 54, Zhen Zhen said. Shiraz cocked her head. Those who don't make it, where'd they go? They're gone. Forever. Wait, who said... Who is even saying this? I think it's Tukey. They're gone. Forever. Never to return. Tukey and her friends looked at each other with wide eyes. Is it Zhen Zhen who said it? If they'd buckled under the test, they would have been gone too. Then Zhen Zhen turned and faced the bizarre building. So guys, this is the D. Come, I'll get you settled. Dylan planted her feet. Honey child, I've just been invaded by bacteria, sliced and diced by earrings, stabbed by a monster needle, and had my head imprisoned inside a bubble. I'm not going in there until I know what that whacked out place is. Oh yeah, there's a lot of violence in this for some reason. I'll try and warn you about things if I know they're coming. It's more violent than you would expect Modelland to be. Zhen Zhen stepped up onto the porch. It's where you're going to be living while you're here. She motioned for the surviving 6 members of her original dozen to follow her into the D. Sun streamed through high windows into a vast living room with couches, tables, and pillows. It was decorated in a blend of styles, Gothic, mid-century modern, Art Deco, with a hint of laboratory in some strange way. The place smelled, as most places in Modelland seem to, of blood oranges. Gotta remind us of that. Another super chat from Dark Echo 1. I remembered one of them had the weed alien voice. Yeah, the weed from the Star Trek thing. You'll notice pretty quickly I got a limited selection of voices, and I know there's a lot more characters coming. I don't know. I'll just wing it like I usually do. Wing tip it, if you will. Thank you, Dark Echo 1. Modelland is now your home. Zhen Zhen trilled, beaming with pride. This is the uncommon room where you'll all hang out. The uncommon room? She really thinks she's gonna one-up Harry Potter, huh? Lee David O'Day has another message. This time, LOL, I think I've got it, LOL. Just wanted to say I've loved your videos. Your voice is hilarious. Good work, beautiful. Aw, thank you. It's very nice. I get it, Tukey announced. The D stands for dorms. Exactly, Zhen Zhen said. Aw, she thinks we're idiots. Six stoic-looking youngish mannequins. Yeah, they're like the servants, these weird mannequins. Entered the room and stood next to Zhen, holding stacks of what looked like stiff scarves draped over one arm. Centuras, Zarpessa yelped. I know that shade of yellow anywhere. Another super chat from Cartoon Kelly. They live in the D. She had to know what she was doing. She had to. They want the D. Yeah, Centuras, these sashes they wear. Same color as the dress you wore here, added Chaste. What a coincidence. Is that the voice I went for? I don't think that was the voice I went for Chaste before. Same color as the dress you wore here, added Chaste. What a coincidence. I don't know what her voice was. Zarpessa's right. These are Centuras, Zhen said. The Centuras are very, very special. The more you wear them, the longer your pow powers become. Oh, the stronger your pow powers become. It wouldn't make sense if it was longer. Zhen accented the pows with a pointed finger like she was shooting a pistol. Powers! Yeah, the mannequins were failed models. I think they did. If they didn't want to leave, they became mannequins. Something like that. There's a lot of lore to keep track of. The mannequins tossed the stacks of centuras into the air. Miraculously, the strips of fabric circled above the girls in a brilliant air show. Some flew in formation, others did solo kamikazes into the crowd. The girls oohed and awed at the performance, which ended with each centura nosediving into the group, finding its recipient and wrapping itself 2 times around the girl's waist. Whap! One whipped around Zarpessa. Zing! Zing is the noise? This zing! Zing! One circled around Shiraz, and finally, a centura even cinched Tuki's waist. She stared at it, barely believing her eyes. Is this really mine? Believing her two-toned, ugly eyes. Listen up, girls. Keep tabs on these magic golden cummerbunds, Zhen said. You might have innate powers, but this is the only thing that can make the Bella magic happen. She shook her head. You all should see some of my photo shoots when I don't have this darn thing on. Pitiful. The girls gingerly touched their centuras. Tuki held the ends of hers like they were the wings of a wounded bird. Zarpessa, lots of weird metaphors in this. Zarpessa and Chase scooted to a mirror on the far side of the space to admire themselves. Tuki could see them yanking their centuras tightly and trying to find the most flattering spots in their hips for the sashes to rest. Zhen clapped. Okay, girls, up to the second level to look for. Go up to the second level and look for your names. The girls climbed the long suspended staircase that only had steps, no risers, no banister, and it floated in midair. Ooh. Down a long, wide hall with immense fabric flowers and plants growing out of the artwork were a series of bedroom doors. There's so many fabric things. Slowly, the names of the girls who would occupy each room appeared on the door, graffiti style, as though an invisible hand was doing the writing. Ooh. Everyone ran to look for their names. I have some super chats. Did I miss it? No, okay, it's one super chat, excuse me. Melena Kiss said, I like how the book isn't even at the height of its craziness yet. Oh my god, does it get worse? Oh, I do know some stuff that's coming. I do know some stuff. Where was I at? Piper, you're here, Tuki called, pointing to a door to her right and then waiting at the door for her to write the next name. Dylan, you're with her. Tuki, you're here! Shiraz beckoned Tuki from down the hall. And Kamal! Kamalani, that is me! I don't know what Kamalani, that is me! Kamalani scooted to the entrance of the room. One of these voices might be right. Next one is... Shiraz peered closely at the door, her lips spread into a smile. Shiraz! Tukey and Shiraz ran through the purple door and gasped. The room was a large, bright square lit by floor-to-ceiling windows. There was nothing in the room save for 4 square burlap bags on the floor. Oh, they gotta sleep on burlap bags. Kamalani clutched her headbanger. Oh, right, they have these headsets. Headbanger. I think that's something that she listens to, like her earphones, her earbuds. They had to have a stupid name for it.
We have to sleep on the floor? I guess we can make do.
Shiraz walked toward a window, and suddenly there was a loud clunk, and she stopped short as though she'd knocked into something. She lost her footing and fell forward. Instead of crashing to the floor, she stopped as something invisible broke her fall. Huh? Tukey whispered. She scuttled over to Shiraz to see what was there. It seemed like a cushion of air was now suspending Shiraz 3 feet above the floor. Wait, so do they have like Wonder Woman's invisible plane, but it's their beds? Wonder Woman's invisible bed? Like, why do they have to be invisible? Is there a reason for this? Like, there's no reason for these things. That's the thing I don't get. Like, half the time it's like, why is this happening? Shiraz grinned.
It's soft. Feels like a
bed, Tukey finished. The outline of a bed materialized before her eyes. A cushy white comforter and 4 fluffy pillows rested atop the mattress. Oh, so it's just invisible part of the time? That's even more pointless, though. But why? Why, though? The reason is whimsy. Yeah, I guess.
It's fancy. Way better than Candelabra Cut.
Yeah, Shiraz lives in a candle land named Candelabra. Shiraz joyfully exclaimed, looking at the bed forming around her. Then the sound of a pencil scratching against paper filled the room. Black lines traversed the white comforter, slowly forming a picture. Shiraz jumped off the bed to give it a closer look. In no time, the lines formed a large eye, then a nose, then another eye, and a pair of full lips, and finally an abstract scribble made luxurious black hair flow from the head. When miniature dots began to cover the face, Shiraz gasped,
Is me!
Tukey and Kamalani looked at each other excitedly.
Where's my bed? They said at the exact same time.
What voice did I give her? I don't know. I'd have to look back at the videos, and I'm not doing that. Jinx, Kamalani teased, bumping Tukey's hip. Tukey smiled so hard her cheeks hurt. No one had ever jinxed her before. Tukey walked to the left of Shiraz's bed. Kamalani strode right. At almost the same time, their knees bumped into an invisible bedpost. They both allowed themselves to fall forward. This seems convenient, these invisible beds you have to find by feel. Delicious, Kamalani exclaimed. Like falling into a cloud of whipped cream, Tukey said. Oh, she loves whipped cream. That's another thing. Sure enough, outlines of 2 beds quickly formed. I'm already done with these beds. Moments later, the pencil scratching noise rang out. A drawing of Tukey appeared on the white comforter. The likeness was a bit goofier than she looked in real life. Her mouth exaggeratedly big, her ears sticking out 20 degrees more than they truly did. But the comforter did draw one of Tukey's eyes darker than the other. For a brief moment, Tukey took in the eyes of the girls in the room and longed for a set of matching irises. Enough with the double eye victimizing. Enough of this. Kamalani's comforter now depicted a caricature of her too, but Kamalani seemed almost saddened by the image, touching her headbanger and sinking into the mattress. Don't you like it? Tukey asked, peering at her.
Well,
Kamalani shook her head.
I love it, really. It is just, I am nervous about being here. I didn't really try as hard as all the girls from my country did. I was showering and this thing, she pointed to her smize, just popped out. So here I am.
I know this is not the voice I did before. I don't remember what voice I did. I'm sure whenever I cut together something with this, it'll be very inconsistent.
I don't think you, you don't think you deserve to be here? Tuki could hardly believe Kamalani was saying such a thing. With her big, soulful eyes and her flawless brown skin, she was one of the most beautiful girls here. Kamalani shrugged. My parents were so happy, though, but they are worried about my addiction to the drugs? Shiraz jumped in. Excuse me? Excuse me.
Addicted to the drugs.
No, not drugs, Kamalani said. The whiskey? Shiraz guessed again. Shiraz, mind your own business. I don't judge you. I just want to help. No, not alcohol either. Worse. This. She held up her head, Bangor. They didn't want me to bring it. I smuggled it in. Shiraz squinted. You addicted to the music?
What is this?
Kamalani nodded. My father made it for me. He is dean of my country's most prestigious university and an inventor. My mother is a chakra wood actress. Chakra wood? Just say India. Just say India. Chakra wood? My mother is a chakra wood actress and director. A rarity. I started using it after something happened. She lowered her eyes. It eases the pain, helps me forget. It's hard for me to be without it. I get withdrawal symptoms. She sighed. My mother even made this one waterproof so I can wear it while swimming and in the shower. I had it on when that Smice contraption came out of the shower head. The girls at my school say that I think I'm the most beautiful girl in Chakra, and that my parents purchased the Smize on the black market, but it's the farthest thing from the truth. She's addicted to the music from Chakra Wood.
Somehow this feels crazier than the guy with the hand on his head. At least that felt kind of, Alice in Wonderland whimsy, or an attempt. I don't know what this is about. This is supposed to be for young adults? Is that it? Who's the audience? The audience is Tyra.
Can I listen? Tuki asked hesitantly, almost certain Kamalani would say no. Kamalani looked into Tuki's eyes, and then nodded and placed the headbanger on Tuki's head. Tuki felt a rush as the music hit her brainwaves. The music hit her brainwaves!
Oh, someone said Alice in Wonderland and then retracted it. They were embarrassed by it. Another super chat from Cartoon Kelly. Traumatic backstory alert! Thank you. She's like, you're addicted to this. Can I try it? Don't try music, even once. Kamalani looked into Tuki's eyes and then nodded and placed the headbanger on Tuki's head. Tuki felt a rush as the music hit her brainwaves, which is a strange sentence. The most crystal clear jangling tune with sitars, a high-pitched singer, a tabla drum, and a Shenai flute, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing this wrong, I probably am, filled her ears. She stood, paced around the room, and listened to the words. The song is about a forbidden love, right? She asked. Oh yeah, Tuki knows like a million languages. Hi, the real Manos. Justin, hello. Kamalani's eyes lit up. Yes, it is my mom singing. Another rarity. She acts, she directs her own films, and she sings her own songs. Most of our actresses lip sync. My mom's latest song is a hit in Chakra and will be the music for the big dance number in her next movie. But wait a second, you know my language? Okay, guys, look, I mean, she keeps telling us things about... She's not creating a lore here. She's just changing words from India and Bollywood into... into chakra and chakra wood, and then saying the same thing. Like, this is nothing. It's just changing certain words, and that's it, into stupider words. Dark Echo 1 super chat. Music, the gateway drug. Yeah, that's gonna lead to dancing, and then you're gonna have a footloose situation. Every language she knows, Shiraz called matter-of-factly from across the room as she traced the lines of her face on her comforter. Is she Yoda? Every language she knows. Magical Tuki is. Yeah, right, Tuki thought. Ha, ha, did someone say magical? A voice rang through the room. That sounds like my cue. Zarpessa stood in the doorway. Oh, they don't want a poor person in there. A disingenuous smile on her face. Well, a room for four. I kind of figured we'd each have our own rooms, but I guess I can live with this. No, Tukey thought. Please don't make her be our roommate. But when Tukey looked at the purple door again, Zarpessa's name had appeared. No one spoke as she pranced across the room and plopped down on Tukey's bed. Ugh. Oh, goodness, she said, running her hands over the outline of Tukey's face on the comforter. This reminds me of my face after the THBC makeup attack. Ugh. She wrote it that way. Ugh. She growled monster-like and then slapped the drawing of Tukey's cheek. Guru Gennaro, you in there? Suddenly, the Tukey drawing vanished and a new face formed. Zarpessa's. Now this is more like it. Zarpessa gazed at her caricature, which accentuated her dramatic eyebrows, full lips, and long, bone-straight hair. Doing the blue steel. She grabbed the fabric of the comforter and ran it between two fingers. 2,500 thread count. My mother's brother's son's cousin's mentor and is the manufacturer of these linens. You all are going to sleep like princesses in these. I've got them on my bed at home. Don't I, Tutu? She whipped around and stared at Tukey, whoosh, challenging her to say something. Tukey stared at the marble floor. It is Tukey, Kamalani corrected Zarpessa. Whatever, Zarpessa said loftily. Loftily. Head hanging, Tukey walked through the room trying to feel for another bed. It's like the Arrested Development, Charlie Brown music. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Finally, in the darkest corner of the room, she hit an invisible post. Oh, she's gonna sit in the corner. When the outline of the bed formed, it was smaller than the others, and the sheets were the teensiest bit scratchy. Oh, she gets an ugly, scratchy, tiny bed, 'cause she's got it so bad. This bed's fine, she told herself. The pencil-lead sounds kicked in, and soon Tukey's image was staring back at her. It feels like the magic beds, or the room, or whoever's rigging these beds is really mean to do it this way. To just be like, hey, you got the good bed, psych. Or maybe, Zarpessa used her powers to steal it, I don't know. I just feel like this is just unnecessary. So, what do you think of your room? Zhen said, walking in. Incredible, right? Listen, she went on. You can only keep 2 things from home. The clothes you wore here are in those burlap sacks. Make your choices by tomorrow morning. You can only keep 2 things from home. Then she stepped back into the hall. And oh, one more thing. Well, we tell time by color, not by number. Unnecessary. Everything. Unnecessary. We tell time by color, not by number. It's blue o'clock. Look, you don't need to change I know Tyra's all about breaking rules. I know she's all about breaking the rules. She's gonna change fashion and the industry forever by doing exactly the same thing. But listen, some rules don't need to be broken. It's fine. No one was thinking I hate the way that we tell time. It's not like we tell time I guess we have 2 different ways to tell time, right? You got military time, but that ain't hard to figure out. We got numbers for a reason. It's not like we're now we're gonna go by shapes today. It's the triangle hour. Another super chat from Cartoon Keller. Kelly. They tell time by color? What? Right? Thank you, Kelly. We tell time by color, not by number. Look for the clocks around the land. You'll get the hang of them soon. As soon as Zhen departed, 4 nightstands appeared, resting on... Oh, does Tukey have a shitty nightstand, though? Resting on them were soft, elaborate cotton nightgowns and Modelland monogrammed toiletry bags. A tag on the gown read, fashioned especially for you, based on the calculations from your THBC measurement session. The girls began removing their uniforms. Tuki changed into her nightie. It had an attached cape that hit halfway down her thighs. It fit around the shoulders, waist, and arms instead of gaping and pulling and pinching like all of Miracle's hand-me-ups. She pushed her feet into the Modelland slipper booties, happy they didn't cramp her toes. Now, look, look, a cape is great, but do you need it for sleep? Again, unnecessary. It feels like it's gonna get all tangled up when you're trying to sleep. Like, what do you need the capelet for? The cape went halfway down her thigh, so it's a long cape. It's not even like a little cute little capelet. It's a full on cape. Like she's Batman. She's Super Smize. Only 2 things from home, Zarpessa said, pouting. That sucks. But for Tuki, it wasn't a hard choice at all. She reached for her burlap sack. Item number 1, T-mail jail. That's her diary, by the way, where she puts her letters to other people and thoughts and stuff. T-mail jail, which she pulled from her cargo pants pocket and stashed in the top drawer of her nightstand. Next to her, she noticed Shiraz stuffing a stiff piece of paper into her own drawer. Another super chat from Dark Echo 1. It's half past orange, right? So dumb. Thank you. Another from Doggy Love. Doggy Love? Caught you live again. Yeah, thanks. Tuki knew what her item number 2 was to be too. What her item number 2 was to be too. You could have said as well, you could have said anything. Number 2 was to be too. She reached in the smaller pocket of her cargo pants and closed her fingers around the round, dented button. Tuki. Okay, so surely she has things that mean more to her than this shitty ass button that this guy dropped and she chased into a garbage can and her name sort of was spelled on it after people stepped on it. Like, surely she has a life more than this. Like, come on, man. Hey, big fan, love your videos on movie nights from James Nisler. Thank you. Nisler? Just touching it made her feel better. She removed it from her pocket and held it in her palm. Get a life, Tuki. What's that beat up thing? Tuki's head shot up. Zarpessa was staring at her. Tuki quickly closed her fist. What was I thinking? I can't have this pin in plain sight. Not in front of Theophilus's girlfriend. Oh yeah, he's dating Zarpessa too. So, I mean, come on, Tuki. Tuki knew the button was damaged and not easily recognizable. Oh, it was beaten into non-recognition. But she feared Zarpessa would be able to tell what it was. It's a, she stammered. Huh? It's a what? Zarpessa made a face. Frantic, Tuki skidded around the room looking for something to cover up the pin. Eee! That's not suspicious. Everyone stared at her, even Shiraz and Kamalani. Then Tuki turned to the hallway. Yes, she snagged a large thorny flower with long streamers and pointy tendrils from one of the art pieces, and nervously fashioned the flower into an oversized corsage, which she pinned over the button. The brooch was nearly the size of her head and looked as though it might lash out and bite off someone's arm. What? But it covered up her secret Theophilus treasure. Oh, I got a big super chat from Laura Hertzman. I can't believe there's actually a book that... I think you mean crazier or something. Crazier than the 50 Shades of Grey series. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Laura. Yeah, it seems... I've never read 50 Shades of Grey, but this sounds crazier than that. It sounds not as well written. This is not as well written as 50 Shades of Grey. I think I can confidently say this. Yeah, 50 Shades of Grey o'clock. Where was I at? Oh, okay. More. I have to read this again. The brooch was nearly the size of her head and looked as though it might lash out and bite off someone's arm, but it covered up her secret Theophilus treasure. It sounds like a metaphor for something, like a euphemism for something, I should say. Her secret Theophilus treasure. As soon as Tuki returned to the bedroom, an announcement blared over a hidden loudspeaker. All Bellas must return to their beds and rest up for the first day of classes tomorrow. It is now time for the Lumiere. Snap! The overhead bulbs went dark, but faint light from the crescent moon still shone through the window. Tukey fell into her small, scratchy bed. She felt a throb in her lower back, a kind of ache she'd never felt before. A dull pain traveled to her hips. She was so exhausted from the day, the tiniest muscles, even the ones around her eyes, ached. But what? I mean, okay, so she thought she was ugly for a while, and she did she ran a bit. Southwest says, hi, first stream I'm watching on this channel. Love movie nights. Thank you. Welcome to the stream. Oh. Cool. All right. Where am I at? The room filled with the soft sounds of everyone pulling back covers and slipping under the sheets. Good night, Shiraz and Kamalani said sweetly. Zarpessa said nothing. Silence filled the room, and Tukey's mind started to wander and drift. Just as she was about to sink into sleep, a light popped on. What that? Shiraz sat up in bed. A spotlight shone on Zarpessa's face. Whenever Zarpessa moved, the light moved with her. Hide under the overpass, Zarpessa screamed, clearly half asleep. Oh. Tukey stifled a laugh. Maybe this is some kind of punishment. But then Zarpessa rubbed her eyes, seeming to awaken. She suddenly looked ecstatic. Oh my god, it's Lumiere! Lumiere? Shiraz repeated. Zarpessa tilted her chin toward the light as though it were a sun lamp. The Lumiere is the special light that shines on Bellas at night. What? It's whatever their most flattering light is. Candlelight, sunlight, whatever. And look, mine is a spotlight. It means I'm going to be a superstar in Toxabella. My powers are right around the corner. Is that the technical name, or is she just being cute? They're powers. I'm going to be a quadruple 7, bigger than CL. Suddenly, a warm reddish light snapped on over Kamalani's bed. Kamalani let out an irritated shriek and pulled the covers over her head. We cannot sleep with lights on, she wailed. We need darkness. But Kamalani, Zarpessa said in a patronizing voice, it's an honor. The Lumiere is supposed to give you all kinds of restorative gifts through the night. Plus, it helps keep your skin fresh and dewy. What? They have... So models have, like, special lights that shine on them at night when they're trying to sleep, and it's got, like, restorative powers or something? A couple super chats. One from Drift219, another big one. Oh, thank you. So this is what happened to Eddie after Baywatch. Thank you. One from Ow, my boring reviews. Allison, why are you dressed like Gozer the Gozerian? Oh, I like that comparison. That's good. Yeah. If this was like a whole bodysuit, pretty amazing. I like that. Thank you. And so to sleep, Kamalani protested. Down the hall and all the other rooms, other girls were calling out as well. It's so bright! Mine's glow sticks! Are we really supposed to sleep with these on us all night? Tukey waited for her own light to shine, but the space above her bed remained dark. Oh, she does... That's actually like a benefit, right? Why would you complain that you don't have a light shining on you all night? Then she cast her eyes to the right. There was another dark bed in the room, Shiraz's. Shiraz's bed creaked. She stood up on the mattress and inspected the ceiling. Is Lumiere supposed to happen to every girl here? Every model, Zarpessa corrected her. Shiraz glared at her. I model. I'm just as beauty as you. Maybe my light broken. It's not a matter of being broken or not. Zarpessa settled onto her pillow like a princess, fanning her hair around her. It's more about the quality of the girl in the bed. Maybe some of you don't belong here. Maybe some of you are here for other reasons. Oh my, I've sacrificed so much beauty rest speaking to you all. Good night. In the dim Lumiere light, Tuki could see Shiraz opening her mouth. A small moan escaped it. Shiraz stared across the room to Tuki's dark bed and met her eyes. The sacrifices. That's ridiculous. Zarpes is just trying to scare us. It's just a dumb rumor, Tuki thought. But when she closed her eyes again, she wasn't so sure. Oh, I think because she's just like getting in their heads about, they think that there's human sacrifices in Modelland, where everyone wants to go. Darkness surrounded her. She was in the darkness, afraid to step into the light. Cold marble pressed on the soles of her bare feet. A draft cut through her bedclothes and made her body shudder in one hard, painful wave. A faucet dripped close by. Papers rustled over her head. Papers rustled. Over her head she could hear tiny footsteps. Mice? She blinked hard. But her eyes couldn't pull in more light. Where am I? Was it all a dream? Am I back home in Peppertown? It's called Peppertown 'cause it's hot. Peppertown. Tuki spied a small window high over her head. The tips of the M building glowed not far away. She was still here, at Modelland. But she'd sleepwalked. This definitely isn't the D. Tuki found a wall and felt her way around. Slowly, she rounded a dark corner and saw a few flickering candles through an opening. She hoped it was a passage that led back to the D. She had to get back to her bed. The Modelland staff and security probably didn't like night wanderers. She approached the door carefully and put her hand on the knob. Suddenly, a sharp sound made her stop. Whack, whack! More whacks came, followed by whimpers and the muddy sound of breathy, unintelligible words. Heart pounding, Tuki poked her head around the door frame. Inside was a cinder block room that resembled a jail cell. A figure was on its knees, rocking back and forth and mumbling, "It's my fault, it's my fault, it's my fault," over and over and over. The person held a wooden plank in one hand, and their back was bruised and bloody. Okay, getting a little violent. Sometimes it gets a little bit too much, so if that bothers you, it's a heads up. Another super chat from Ow My Boring Reviews. Sacrifice to the Cult of Baywatch, Farrah Fawcett. Am I missing something with the Farrah Fawcett thing? Thank you. The only items in the room was a picture pinned to the wall. Tuki squinted at it, recognizing the three pillars immediately. The obscure obelisks, the bizarre structures that had risen in Ladorno seemingly overnight. More chants and deeper moans came from the figure. Whoa. The deranged person raised the plank once more. "No," Tuki said silently. Who could do such a thing to themselves? Whack! A gash in the figure's back opened, and Tuki could see raw flesh. Still, Tuki stood paralyzed at the door. Whack! More flesh broke. What were once pinpricks of red now oozed blood from deeper cuts and gashes. Every chapter with this. Then the figure reached up to the obscure obelisks, its hands flailing as if the figure was blind and elderly and desperately trying to connect with an unseen face. Hands clawed at the photo, and the figure started to beat its forehead against it. Then came a wail so deep, so guttural, so agonizing. Sorry, so sorry. Tuki gasped, never having heard such a horrible sound. The figure in the room stiffened at the noise and raised its head, and suddenly Tuki caught sight of who it was. It was a face she and all the world knew very, very well. CL. Bum, 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 bum. More super chats. That's the end of chapter 18, by the way. Drift 219 says, "So Mitch it be! So Mitch it be." Thank you. Samir Sela. Invisible beds, I think. Colorful time, spotlights that shine when you sleep. I'd rather be a human sacrifice at this point. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Modelland, I don't know what's the appeal at this point. Thank you, Samir. You said the word faucet and Farrah Fawcett came to mind. Oh, okay. All right. I see. That's the end of chapter 18. We begin chapter 19. Kara, and the dormitory effect. That is a one word, Kara, and the dormitory effect. How many people are hanging around here? We got 150? Oh my gosh, thank you. Super chat from Rift Chick. CL Tyra is a messiah figure in this book. Ugh, yeah, sure is. They can't. Yeah. You think there's some sort of metaphor there with the flagellation? Who says that Tyra's got a god complex? The next morning, when Tuki opened her eyes again, she was lying on her bed in the D, tucked safely underneath her covers. She rubbed her eyes, instantly remembering the night before. What had that been about? Had she seriously seen CL hurting herself? Why? Oh, another super chat. Your name's Anna. Okay, thank you for explaining that to me. I can't read Russian letters. Here, have 273. So if you need, after all this craziness, you can have some alcohol that's sweet and doesn't taste like alcohol. I know I'd have some if I had to read this. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Anna. Another super chat from Samira Texira? Lupa, how are you, my guardian angel? I was just mid-panic attack, and your content always calms me down. Great to see you still killing it in 2020. Oh, thank you. I hope you're feeling better. I'm sorry you're having a panic attack. Come chill with the... We were just reading about how they tell time by color in Modelland. Alright. Tuki was used to having awful nightmares and even night terrors when she woke up screaming, so she couldn't tell her friends what she'd seen, not until she knew it was real. Disoriented, Tuki stumbled into the large, sterile-looking community bathroom. As she did, a dull pain shot through her legs, hips, and stomach. Ugh! She doubled over, feeling as though she was about to vomit. Perfect, she thought. I'm sick on the first day of school. Is she pregnant? Is that what's going on? Knowing fucking Modelland, it would be like she's pregnant for like a lesson, like you have to model even when you're pregnant, and then like there's graphic birthing scenes, and then they just move on like nothing happened. Oh no, I know what's coming. Oh no, is this... Oh, I'm scared. Everyone in the bathroom wore clear shower sandals and aqua bathrobes with yellow arms and lapels that formed an M. The backs of their bathrobes sported immense eyes decorated with smizes. All at once, every girl in the bathroom doubled over in pain, gripping her stomach and back just as Tuki had. As a bathroom stall door banged open, Tuki caught sight of scrawled graffiti on the wall. Many of the drawings were just of hearts and initials, but several stood out. This is all in stupid fonts. Lotta Defa Cake 7. Oh, excuse me. Yes? Oh, come here, my little fuzzy child. Yeah. Hey everyone, get a look at Ash, meowing, hanging out in my ruffles. A menstruation. Oh no, this is gonna be... Oh no. I'm very scared. I know, Ash, you don't like it either. Another super chat from Drift219. Oh, thank you. You've been giving me so many. She was impregnated by Tyra. She will give birth to herself. Thank you. Lotta Defa Cake 7 for sure, and persecution, never forget, never return. She spelled persecution a really dumb way. See if anyone can read this. Oop. Dumb. Stupid. Lotta defecate. Like defecate? I don't know. She trudged up one of the 25 sinks cut into a long slab of white and gray marble. Over each sink hung a white-framed rectangular mirror with different-sized holes in it. One hole spat a perfect plume of cold blue water. Another shot out a red-tinged hot water. A large hole emitted purplish tinged water, a perfect combination of hot and cold. Tuki spotted Piper at a corner sink and walked toward her, trying not to fall over from another sudden stomach spasm. Piper had laid out a series of toiletries, including a toothbrush, toothpaste, a hairbrush, and a comb in a neat, even line. What is it, like synchronizing their periods? Is that what's going on? When she bumped one out of place, she quickly pushed it back into position. She was also playing with a puzzle that had many moving pieces of scrambled parts of a picture. A golden light overhead danced on her delicate skin, enhancing the elegant angles of her chin and shoulders. Every movement Piper makes could be a beautiful picture, Tukey thought. She's posing, even though she doesn't realize it. Where'd you get all that stuff? Tukey asked. Then, as she glanced down at the sink again, she noticed Piper's toothbrush. It was made of an iridescent, pear-like substance, and its bristles were fashioned in the shape of an eye. Another super chat from Al My Boring Reviews. I'm glad Allie Lupason is still here. She's awesome sauce and makes me feel good about my bad sense of humor. Stop it. About my bad sense of humor. Example, Farrah Fawcett after she said the word faucet. ADHD is fun to have. Oh, thank you. I don't, you know what? I just, sometimes I'm dumb. I was worried I was missing something. You're fine. Thank you. Just looking at the toothbrush made a memory strike her hard. She's uncoordinated, unattractive, and unmemorable. She's not mine, Creamy. The words were like daggers in her heart. Oh, that's when she found out that her dad was not her biological father. The words were like daggers in her heart. She was allowed to keep only 2 personal items, but in reality had come to Modelland with heavy baggage she couldn't get rid of. Tukey moved her face closer to the mirror, as if knowing why she was doing so. The mirror inched closer to Tukey's searching face, kindly refraining from spouting any frigid or blazing water. Tukey stared deeply into her multicolored eyes, seeking a clue. She silently begged the mirror for some similarities, for any portion of her face to resemble her father. She took her baby fingers and traced the lines of her face, ending with the outline of her round, full lips. The baby fingers. They keep doing the baby fingers metaphors. I don't like it. It was gone for a while. That was a good run of no baby fingers. Nothing. She looked nothing like him. Hot tears fell from her eyes. She picked up a spare comb from the counter and ran its teeth through her hair. The comb snagged and then broke into 2 pieces, just like it always did. Moments later, Tukey ran out of the D toward Beautification Boulevard. She was now dressed in the official first-year Bella green Modelland uniform she'd had on the day before when she'd emerged from THBC. Most of the uniform had been easy to put on correctly, and although wearing the leotard over her pants felt strange, it certainly was a cool look. What? So they wear it over their pants? They wear leotards over pants? How is that a cool look? But Tukey didn't understand the Centura at all. It didn't fit all the way it had the day before. It kept slipping off her hips. When she'd gone back to the bedroom from the bathroom, a bottle of perfume was on her nightstand. Poussière, said a sign on the plunger. When Tukey depressed the atomizer, a fine blood-orange-scented mist had spritzed into the air. Slowly, the mist had assembled into an onion-skin-thin sheet of paper. It was her schedule for the semester, a quadmester, as it was called, in Modelland. You can't call them semesters, they have to be called quadmesters? Like... why do they have to change names for things that don't need name changes? I don't get it. They're from Drift 219. Her father really is Tyra! Dramatic chord. Bum! Thank you. Slowly, the mist had assembled. Oh, it was a quadmester. Alright. She shuddered from another abdominal cramp, then looked at her schedule again. Bella, assignments for this first day of the first quadmester of the first year. Uno, cara, time, midnight blue, sharp. Dues, run away intensive, time, Kelly green, sharp tray, mastication, time, goldenrod, sharp. You know, I could just stop now. I could throw this in the garbage right now. I'm so it's just nonsense. I don't know if it's my it's not just my reading comprehension. I know it's not just my reading comprehension, but man, is look, sometimes I have a trouble paying attention to things and remembering things. This is too much. I have another super chat from Samir Sela. OMG, now I remember what I wanted to tell you. It's been a while since a reading. Anyway, Tyra wants to do graphic novels to continue Modelland. Oh my god. I think I might have read that somewhere. I could be wrong. She's tried every other thing. Alright. I will keep going. Thank you, Samir. Midnight Blue, Kelly Green, and Goldenrod. Sharp? Tookie needed to learn how to tell time all over again. Yeah, it's almost like this is stupid and unnecessary. Tookie stared at the whirling kaleidoscope clock on Beautification Boulevard. All around here, girls were pushing past just as confused as she was about the wacky colored clock. Another super chat from Drift219. Thank you. You're spoiling me. It's not just you that this is hard. It's not just you. This is hard to get through. Oh, thank you. Well, at least I know I'm not crazy. She tried going She tried going right, thinking Kara, face, 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 and Gaudian might be in that direction, and found herself on a path she'd never traveled before. An enormous half-finished stadium loomed in the distance. Hulking male models from Bestosterone worked giant construction machines. So they're models in their own right, but they're also just servants. They're like the mannequins. I don't get it. Some of them welded metal beams together with silver flashlight-like devices that shot red-hot liquid glue. Others struck overtly sexualized poses for a photographer while they worked. It's just making me think of music videos from the 90s where somehow people are sweaty in a spark factory. Shirtless, muscly people just covered in smudges and stuff in working in a factory. That's what this makes me think of. Suddenly, a deep voice rang out behind her.
Are you lost?
Tookie turned and saw a muscular Bestostero. They're called Bestostero. Why didn't they call them Bestostobro? It was right there. Bestostobro. Bestostero with chiseled features walking toward her, blueprints tucked under his arms, his pecs swelled under his shirt. His skin was smooth and richly colored, and his eyebrows looked naturally arched, which was almost as bad as if he'd been a religious waxer. Tookie had never been a fan of the pretty boy arched eyebrow look. Theophilus's unique features were more her taste.
My name's Bravo,
he said, looking straight at Tookie.
From Bestosterone. Are you a new Bella?
Oh my gosh, I have more super chats. Thank you. So many super chats today. Ow, my boring reviews. I need to properly binge watch all of these. I only pop in every now and then. I need to really take in the Tyra from the beginning. Oh, it's been such a journey. Oh, good luck, Apon. Apon? I'm so sorry. I got your name wrong, I think. Okay, Drift219. So they're all doing JoJo poses. Yeah. Thank you. And the real Manos. Let's pay Linkara to review the Modelland comic. Oh my god. It'd be amazing. Thank you. Another one from Laura Hertzman. Don't worry, it's not just you. This book is basically unreadable to everyone, but then book is too good a word to describe what you're reading. Thank you. Tookie opened her mouth, but then shut it again. The guy was staring at her so pointedly, like she had worms crawling out of her hair.
We're building this new 7-7 stadium for you,
Bravo went on, gesturing to the site.
A couple of years ago, a huge fireball
Excuse me?
A couple of years ago, a huge fireball decimated the old stadium. It came out of nowhere, from the other side of the wall. Some people say the spirits over there get pissed at us sometimes and want to burn Modelland down.
My neighbors were making weird noises outside. I don't know if you could hear that. It was very strange. A fireball decimated the old stadium. This is a lot to take in. This is a lot. Tukey still couldn't say a word when then two boys appeared behind Bravo, both in fashionable workmen's uniforms. One had pale skin, an angular face, and piercing hazel eyes, and the other was stockier, with dark skin and the fullest lips Tukey had ever seen, even fuller than her own. I need some voices.
What's that you're talking to, Bravo?
The angular-faced one said. The dark-skinned guy he was with snickered and nudged him.
Webb, you need to stop tripping, man.
Oh, wait, no, it's Bravo, sorry.
Webb, you need to stop tripping, man,
Bravo said. Tukey bristled and turned away. Webb's insult wasn't anything she wasn't used to. She glanced over her shoulder just once. So Webb is the weird angular one? Alright. She glanced over her shoulder just once. Pretty boy Bravo was still watching her. Finally, he returned to his friends. They retreated toward an immense eye made out of shiny metal. Its iris was constructed from green jade, and the lid wore yellow eyeshadow like a smy's. You know what? The thing is, I'm worried I'm becoming, like, desensitized to this. I'm worried this things that are just like, this is all becoming too normal. It's like they went into a giant eye made out of metal with some eyeshadow on it. It's like, sure. Finally, Tukey found the Kara building. It was the massive boat she'd seen during orientation. A bridge made of driftwood led from the shore to the vessel's door. Hey, Tukey! Dylan stood in front of the building. Piper and Shiraz were standing with her, both bearing the same achy, period-stricken looks from the other Bellas had in the bathroom earlier. Well, at least he's given away what it is, the period-stricken looks. Period-stricken.
We were looking for you, girl. You made it.
It's turning into Cody.
We were looking for you, girl. You made it.
Barely, Tukey almost considered telling them about the Bestostero and his rude friends, but she decided against it. Why bother? Another super chat from the Somewhere Man. Someone wants to burn down Modelland? Who'd have thought? Thank you. The girls walked across the bridge into the floating classroom. An immense bust of the Belladonna leered from the ship's bow. Ship's bow. From the ship's bow. It's made out of some element that doesn't exist in the... Oh, sorry. This is Piper's voice.
It's made out of some element that doesn't exist in the periodic table,
Piper whispered. Tukey shivered. She felt like the stony eyes were watching her. Would they ever see the Belladonna for real, or only bizarre rock-like representations of her? They ducked their heads through the entryway and entered a classroom whose ceiling and walls were made of entirely bleached bones in the shape of a giant skeleton. Piper said, examining the interior.
Dermal corset of flexible, collagenous fibers, hexagonal tesserae, oblique and serrated teeth not attached to the cranium. It's a shark.
There were no seats, but Zarpessa and Chaste were standing front and center in the middle of circles on the floor with their names printed in the center. Tukey, Piper, Shiraz, and Dylan found circles of their own in the row behind Zarpessa and Chaste. As soon as they stopped, individual spotlights shone straight into their faces. Piper squinted hard. Another super chat from Cartoon Kelly. We're all a little desensitized at this point. Yeah, I think so. Thank you. Is it Lumiere? Shiraz exclaimed excitedly. See, when you say Lumiere, I just keep thinking that it's like the hand, because he has the French voice, which is like Lumiere in Beauty and the Beast, Candleman. And she's from a candle land, so it's all these elements. Chase turned around. Of course not, little girl. That only happens at night. Just then, a wooden door on the other side of the boat snapped open. Whoosh! In bounded a tall man wearing an embroidered cape and a red jumpsuit with a vibrant multicolored serape sash around his waist. He had poochy lips, a button nose, bushy eyebrows, and twinkly saucer-shaped eyes, and immediately generated a smile from Tukey and all of the girls in the room. Poochy lips. His features flapped and twisted as if they were made of something much more flexible than flesh and bone. But despite all that, Tukey thought he was quite handsome in his own special way. Really? Because he sounds like a freak.
What's up, Rubber Man?
Dylan whispered to the other girl. Oh, wait. What's up with Rubber Man? Dylan whispered to the other girls. Dylan's a judgy jerk. I say as I say, he sounds like a freak. Hola, hola, hola! I am Guru Pacifico Cruz from the land of Texaco, he announced. At Modelland, we are not fans of last names, so please call me Guru Pacifico. This, my dear Bellas, is Cara class. Being a Modella Fantastica is all about mastering how to maneuver your face. And speaking of faces, this course will prepare you for what you will face out in the real world too, if you become Intoxibellas. If, Zarpessa rolled her eyes. Not if, honey, when. Mi clase, Guru Pacifico continued, is located within a great white shark, not for comedy, no. You sit within the belly of the sea beast to remind you of the real sharks in the world. They will swim around you if you become Intoxibellas. They will want to rip you to shreds, jealous of your fame and fortune. They will wait for you to bleed and then swallow you whole, leaving nothing to bury but your fancy stilettos. Tukey wasn't sure whether to laugh or cry. So my class is muy importante, Bellas. The guru's eyes sparkled. It will tighten your guts, cement your resistance, and strengthen your core. If you've noticed, we are on a rocky boat, metaphor intended, and your, shall I say, cycles have all been synchronized. I'm sure you've all noticed by now. Crampy, see? Excuse me. If I went to a class and some fucking freak dude comes out and is like, yeah, we went ahead and synced your periods for you, you're welcome, I'd be like, alright, I'm fucking out. I'll go work at the orphan factory. The fuck is this shit? Groans sounded throughout the room. Tukey pressed on her abdomen. Ugh. Ugh. Does it have to be gross? Why does everything have to be gross in this? This is not a coincidence, Bellas. Usually it takes muchos meses, many months of lady cycles to, shall I say, organize. But here at Modelland we have accelerated that harmony. But why, though? Is there a reason their periods have to be synchronized? I knew it, Piper whispered to Tukey. I don't think Piper has a whisper voice. Why do we do this? Well, Bellas, the life of a model is one of great adventure and of many challenges. Modelland tolerates no excuses for tardiness or for faulty or missed assignments. Come hell or high agua, an Intoxibella must be ready to shine, to model through mayhem and mishaps, to perform, to be the very best, like no one ever was. No excuses, so today your training begins. Hensio, your tear flow, is happening right now, yes? How well can you project an image that is opposite of how you are feeling or at odds with your surroundings? Oh my god, I always pick the worst voices for someone who's gonna talk for fucking ever. Your goal in Cara is not to mirror, but to mask. In other words, make the opposite expression of what you see or feel. You see happy? The guru made a gleeful expression, his rubbery lips extending well past his cheeks. You make sad. He distorted his face into a sappy appearance, his eyes drooping dramatically and his chin sinking literally into his neck. If you are tickled, do not laugh, frown. Mastering this will get you one step closer to being an Intoxibella. But fail, and you may be relegated to... You may be regulated like your period. But fail, and you may be relegated to spending your life as, heaven forbid, an actress. The guru said this last word in a low, disgusted whisper. Actresses are incapable of opposite performing. They must think about sad times in their lives to project sadness on the silver screen. Nonsense! We mustn't let that pitiful fate happen to you. Oh, and also, Bellas, you will see that mi clase is the best in all of Modelland. His face contorted. So, if you like what you see here, put in a good word for me to the board, see? They need a bit of comic relief to join their ranks. They are so god-awful serious all the time. The guru's fingers stretched out from his hand, curved around the girls, and flicked on a light at the back of the shark room. In just a few seconds, you will be tested as you have never been. The challenge begins now. Pacifico untied the serape sash from around his narrow waist, rolled it into a narrow strip, and tied it around his head, martial arts bandana style. Copy me, Bellows, copy me! The girls yanked their centauras from their waists and tied them around their heads. As they did so, Tuki noticed that the boat was tilting more rapidly from side to side, like it was caught in a storm. She suddenly felt off-kilter. Through your crampy pain and sickness from the sea, Pacifico said, your centauras will aid you with power to conjure the opposite expression for perfectamente. The thing is, I hate it. You don't need all... How did models do anything before Modelland? A shark bite sound filled the room, and then a three-dimensional shark bite sound? Ow! Filled the room, and then a three-dimensional image of a two-headed vulture picking at a child's eyes appeared before every Bella. Now, come all the time with this violence. Several girls gasped. Piper covered her eyes, saying it looked like a le gizzard. A girl named Bo, who sat on the other side of Tuki and seemed devoid of any expression whatsoever, didn't react at all. No, 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 Pacifico bellowed. Opposite, opposite, opposite. Look at me, Zarpessa cried. She was smiling into the eyes of the two-headed vulture as though it was a cute newborn baby. Fantastico, Bella! Guru Pacifico patted Zarpessa on the back. The boat rocked to the right, making Tuki's stomach swim. The two-headed vulture morphed into an enormous yellow feather that was as long as Tuki was tall. It flitted across the class, tickling girls. Giggles erupted throughout the class. Bellas, Pacifico shook his finger, use the power of your centauras to resist the urge to laugh. At once, the centauras came to life. The two strands that hung at the back of each girl's head reared up and swatted the feather as it approached. Shiraz's centaura swatted at the feather like a boxer hitting a speed bag. Piper's centaur took calculated jabs at it. Dylan's clawed at the feather like it was a girl in a cat fight. Chase Centaura shimmied sexily, pulling the feather toward her body, but when the feather approached Tuki, her Centaura remained limp at her head. She couldn't stop giggling, even as the boat lurched angrily to the left. Tuki, Guru Pacifico declared, you are all wrong. Frown! Pretend that feather feels like the mohair pain inside you. Tuki's cheeks burned. All these years she had never been called on in class, and now that she finally was, it was for something negative. Worse than that, her head was spinning. Why is this boat rocking so wildly? It seems so calm from the shore. Another super chat from the real Manos. You've sold me. I'm gonna try to buy this book next time I'm at the dollar store. Godspeed. Thank you. The challenges zip by more... Oh, man, I'm ready for this chapter to be done. Alright. The challenges zipped by more quickly. They had to react to a steaming pile of rotting food under their noses, then a picture of an earless baby rabbit abandoned by its mother. Some girls instantly reacted to the photos before remembering they were supposed to do the opposite, but Piper studied the images quickly and smiled when the image was ghastly, looked surprised when the image was serene, and gasped when the image was gentle and sweet. Good, Piper, Pacifico praised. An image appeared of a bunch of boys mooning on a busy highway, then one of a hooded figure that looked like death approaching. The Bellas changed their expressions from happy to sad, confused to angry, sexy to serious with each different challenge, but Tuki continued to fail miserably over or under reacting to the photos, finding it difficult to focus. Her centaur remained comatose on her head. Tuki, 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 Pacifico cried over and over again, which made Zarpessa twist around and smirk triumphantly at her. Smirk. The only girl he corrected almost as much as was Dead-Faced Beau, who didn't even freak. Dead-Faced Beau is my band name. Who didn't even freak over a photo of a dead cat giving birth to an octopus on an abandoned road. What the fuck is going on? Then an image of an acrobat falling off of a dizzyingly high tightrope appeared. Almost everyone else reacted with an opposite expression, boredom, apathy, but Tuki's face froze in the worst possible way. The performer reminded her of Chris Crobat, her father, or, well, whoever he was. The shame of... He's not your father just because biologically he didn't have you, idiot. The shame of feeling disowned and unwanted washed over her. She couldn't hide it. The ship lurched to the side once more. Tuki's insides churned and her lower back contracted in a sharp cramp. She gagged repeatedly and closed her eyes to avoid the next abominable image, but closing her eyes made her seasickness even worse. Suddenly, she couldn't take it anymore. She twisted to the right, leaned over, and threw up. Some of it landed in Bo's hair, but to her relief, Bo threw up too. Impassively, of course. So she just... Bo doesn't give a fuck. I like this energy. Dios mio, Guru Pacifico cried. That wretched scourge of the first-run regurgitators. Seen it before and smelled it much longer. The images around them disappeared. Okay, Bellas, remove your centuras from your heads. You will do this again and again, the squad master, until you get it right. Do not fret about the mess. Remember, sharks love chum. As far as who did well today... He paused on Piper, seemingly wanting to point to her, but then looked away. He pointed to another girl instead. Definitely Bella Zarpessa. Zarpessa smiled devilishly. Thanks, Guru, but I have a confession to make. My parents trained me for Modelland at a very early age. They got the best coaches. Meatopian money was no object. I was being coached up until the day of discovery. They spent $50,000 on my prep, and... She trailed off as she caught Tuki's eye. Her face hardened into a scowl. Tuki quickly averted her gaze. She didn't know whether to feel envious of or sorry for Zarpessa, because she knows she's secretly poor. Envious, of course, because Zarpessa had such a vivid imagination with which to escape from her dreadful life, even if it was a new concoction of outrageous fibs every day. But she felt pity as well. Guru Pacifico clapped. Now that you have finished your first Kara class, I have 2 gifts for you. Everyone froze, waiting. I shall let an esteemed special guest give you your first gift, the Guru said. He gestured to the walls of the boat. Instantly, they peeled apart, revealing the masthead of the Belladonna at the front of the ship. The masthead twisted around and stared at them, suddenly alive. The masthead Belladonna parted her sculpted lips, just as her giant statue in the O had. Did I have a voice for this? Was this a different thing? I don't know.
Yes, Snow Seas, I have a surprise for you,
her voice rang out.
Something young, maturing girls can only receive here at Modelland. Kara was your first class, or shall I say,
I feel like there was some voice I had for a guru. There's another guru. I don't know. This feels wrong. Oh well, I committed to it.
Or shall I say your first period of the day? But guess what? It will also be your last.
Huh? Chase pulled out her schedule. It says I have 2 more classes after this.
The Guru shook its finger. Not that kind of period, Mammy.
Oh, that kind of period, because they're periods. The Belladonna continued.
This cycle you had this morning will be the last period you will ever have for the rest of your lives.
What's the point? Wait, does that mean they took away... Oh, okay, they explain... There was silence, turned heads, questioning looks.
We want no excuses for you missing classes or shoots or shows, so Modelland is ridding you of the pain and suffering of your menstrual cycles and cramps forever.
The Belladonna masthead explained. This is just Tyra's fantasy.
You will still have the ability to procreate as you reach adulthood, but no more periods. Period.
What? What? The guru beamed at them. Isn't that grandissimo? Get the fuck... Their body, their choice. Get the fuck out of their ovaries, Modelland. Almost everyone cheered, although Chase looked strangely forlorn and confused, clamping her mouth shut and biting her bottom lip nervously, and Tukey felt another kind of cramp in her stomach, one of loss and regret. I finally reached womanhood, she thought. I finally got something that Miracle has teased me so much about, and now it's gone. They take away her period. Will they leave her with nothing? Nothing that is hers! The masthead twisted back around to its original position, and then went still again. The second gift, the guru said, facing the girls. Now you can view your pictures of today's session. Alright, fuck off, man. Another from Drift 219. Stay strong, Lupa. Thank you.
Oh, can they get pictures? Pictures?
Dylan clutched her apple cheeks.
But honey, I didn't have my game face on.
Pacifico smiled craftily, his rubbery lips curling over his teeth. This was your first Modelland photo shoot, ladies. Go look, go look. The guru pointed to the exit of the far side of the Shark. A second boat had appeared where the bridge had once been. As soon as the girl stepped inside the cabin, the boat moved away from the dock and began to float down along the river. Then three-dimensional images of the Bellas during the Kara 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 exercise appeared in midair. The images moved and morphed, showing each of their many expressions. Ooh, some girls squealed. Yuck, others cried. Can I erase this one? Bo murmured stoically, but Chase batted her eyelashes at herself. Honey, she said to her image, if I were a guy, I'd want a piece of you. Look at that hideous thing, a voice called from the other side of the boat. It was Zarpessa, and she was staring at Tukey's repeating loop. Zarpessa nudged Chase. You know those rumors about scouts choosing civilian girls to come to Modelland to be used as sacrifices, experiments, and food? I certainly wouldn't want to eat that. Tukey, yeah, you know what? You're not too good to eat, Tukey. Zarpessa. Tukey moved to the front of the boat to look at her images. In each, she looked awkward, confused, and just wrong. She looked over at the guru. His eyes narrowed, and he shook his head slowly from side to side. These were the type of photos that would fail her. The type of photos that would get her kicked out of Modelland and then sent back to Peppertown forever.
Well, at least you wouldn't have your period anymore.
She closed her eyes and thought about the fate that awaited her in Peppertown. Family who didn't want her, a best friend who probably hated her now that she'd abandoned her, a life as a factory dependent. I can't go back there. I can't get sent home. But then she thought about the sacrifice rumor, torturing girls in dreadful experiments, siphoning their blood for ancient ritual, making an offering to whatever magical beings had founded Modelland in the first place. If that was in store for her, she couldn't imagine staying here either. Cold fear trickled down her neck. Had she come this far, only to be a human guinea pig? Bum 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 bum. Let's see, how many pages did we read today? Let's take a look. We're gonna find out, guys. Okay. We read 31 pages. Which means we have 337 pages left. I'm tired. Another super chat from Drift 219. They're going to sacrifice their blood to Tyra. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna end the stream now. Thank you so much for coming, everyone. It was fun to do one of these again. Let's do another one tomorrow, same time. Sound good? All right, we'll do another one tomorrow, 3 p.m. CST. See you guys around. Thank you so much. I'm gonna go now.